Hi everyone, my name is Shiven and I'm the Indian MTB National Champion. Today we're going to be talking about gears and how to use them, what are the common myths about them and how you can understand them better. Let's go. To watch more such videos, subscribe to this channel. What are the different components that are there in the bike? We have a shifter over here, we got a rear derailleur over here, we got the shifting cable, we got the chain, cassette, our crankset, pedals, front derailleur, and these different gears that are hidden behind the cover of the crankset. These are called chain rings, different chain rings. We're going to talk about how do the gears work. So we have the rear derailleur over here, we have the front derailleur over here, and we've got shifters which correspond to the different derailleurs that we have here. This is the shifter that controls the rear derailleur, and on the left hand side we've got the shifter that controls the front derailleur. When we start shifting, we use our thumb or our index finger to shift gears, and there's a wire that's attached to this shifter that is tight and provides the tension to the derailleur. Now the derailleur derails the chain from one gear to another one, and how that changes is like this. We started shifting from the shifter, tension goes in the cable, comes down to the rear derailleur, and the chain falls from one cog to another one gear to another one. The same goes to the front derailleur as well. Now when we shift towards the lowest cog, the smallest cog on the back, that's when we are pedaling the hardest, and we do that by pressing our shifter with the index finger like this. It's shifted to the smallest cog at the back, and that will be the hardest, that will build you the maximum speed. Similarly, on our front shifter, if we press our thumb, use our thumb and shift it on the biggest chain ring at the front. So we just shifted to the biggest chain ring at the front, and that's how it will be the hardest gear. So you will build the maximum speed in this gear and it will be the hardest one. But if you want the easiest one, which will be useful for the uphills, you just have to go to the smallest one at the front and the biggest one at the back. This bike is a 3x7, so we will have to make 3 shifts on the front shifter and 7 shifts at the back shifter. Here's how you do it. Just make sure whenever you are shifting, you are not putting too much of pressure on the gears. So now we're going to be talking about how to use these gears effectively. We've got different set of gears. We got gears from 1 to 7 back at the sprocket, and we can see these numbers here at the shifter. Also we have got 1, 2, 3 gears at the front. We can see these on the front shifter. So when we are pedaling in a city in a normal way, we can use a gear which is the second at the front and anywhere between 3rd to 5th at the back. So that will give us a comfortable pedaling ratio. But when we start going upwards on an upslope, that's when we want a gear that is easy so that we can pedal up on the climbs, and we can shift on the first gear at the front and the first gear at the back. What that means is the smallest gear at the front and the biggest gear at the back. That will give us a comfortable pedaling ratio. When we are coming down a slope, we want a gear that is a little bit harder so that we have resistance to pedal down the slope as well, and we can build some speed. So we can use the 3rd gear, which is the largest, at the front, and the 7th gear at the back. Now this will give us a ratio which is large enough, so that we have some resistance. You can use our shifters here. These have the numbers to change the gears into those numbers which I just mentioned. Now when you get comfortable, you can just shift without even looking at the shifters or thinking about what number the gear is in. But one important thing is there. Always remember to not cross chain these gears. So what I mean by cross chaining, when you're using the first gear, make sure you are just using the top 3 gears, 1, 2 and 3 at the back. When you're using the middle gear at the front, make sure you're using the middle gears, for example 3, 4, 5 at the back. When you're using the largest gear at the front, which is the third one, make sure you're using 5, 6 and 7 gears. That will help you to prevent cross chaining, which is very important to keep the gears running smoothly and freely over the long period of time. Alright, to sum it up, 1 by 1 is easy, 3 by 7 is hard, and you can experiment between all these gear ratios that you have. Just remember, don't cross chain so that your derailleur and your gears are working easily and smoothly.